Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scudig or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy, and I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have an Easter card for you, so very seasonal, and I also have a little demonstration for you inside that project for how to use adhesive sheets with die cuts, and they're really good for intricate die cuts like the one we're going to use today. So I hope you enjoy that and find it useful for yourself later. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so here's my desk. I'll just line things up a little here. So what we're going to be using today is this Faith Collection stamp set and dies, and I'll show you the dies as we get going. So this is one for folks who are interested in a more kind of religious take on Easter. And you may know already if you've followed me before, but I'm actually an Anglican priest as well. So I like this set and I think it's helpful. Even if you aren't someone that celebrates the religious side of Easter, I think that you'll find this demonstration interesting because of the die cut and adhesive sheet demonstration. So please do stick with it and you can see how that all works out. So I like this set because it has many different sentiments. So thinking of you, so it could be used anytime, doesn't have to be Easter. He is risen, a very traditional Easter greeting. We have God is love, so that could be useful anytime. And then let your faith be bigger than your fears. So it's got some really useful ones. It's got this bit of greenery here, palm leaves, which are traditional for Easter and resurrection time. And then it's got these cross ones, and it's got this that you can kind of put next to the cross, like as if there's light coming from it, perhaps. And then you've got these flowers. So there's all kinds of nice ones in here. We're also going to be using these particular embellishments, which are called Blooming Pearls. They are part of the last chance list. So if you don't know about it already, I want to let you know that they just recently updated their last chance list on Stampin' Up! And that means all the products like these ones that are going to be retiring soon. And many are discounted, some of them deeply discounted. So I wanted to demonstrate with one of those products. So what it means if they're retiring is that as soon as they go out of stock, they are gone for good. They're not getting any more of them in, so they'll be just disappearing from the product list. So that's these ones, and they are on sale as well. And here is our card today. So let's get right to our card. Let's put it over here, and we will get started. So I always like to start with the stamping. So let's do the stamping here first. Sorry for that glare right here on my glass mat. I can't figure out how to get the light that I need for the video to not glare off my glass. So if anybody knows how to do that, let me know, because I don't seem to be able to stop it. But that's okay. So I'm going to be using Pretty Peacock ink today. And there we go. And I'm using something here, a little die cut that I made with the Stylish Shapes dies. And these are one of my very favorite die sets because they're so useful. I can use them any time of year, and I use them on almost every project I do. Not quite every, but on very many, the majority, I'd say. So they've got these nested circles, and they have like these little stitching lines on there that get embossed on as well. You've got these labels for your greetings in various sizes, and then you've got nested squares, or you can turn them that way, and they can be diamonds. So really, really good set. So I used, to make this one, I used this small, long one here. So let's go ahead with that. I'm going to use the traditional Easter greeting in a religious context, which is He is risen. And I will get that out right now. Okay, so here we go. All right. Okay, so there's the greeting. He is risen. There, it says it right on there. And we will just stamp it on here. And this is the only stamping we're actually going to do on this whole card. So it's a really easy stamping card. It's mostly die cutting and assembly. So that's pretty good coverage right there for the ink. Let's try it out, kind of in the middle, more or less. I like these photopolymer stamps because you can see through them and exactly where you're putting your images, which is great. Okay, let's see how that turned out. That looks really nice. Yeah. So I like this color, Pretty Peacock, because it is very good for sentiments, and it is actually one of the colors that is in our paper that we're using today. So I will show you a little bit more of that in time. And next thing we're going to do is some of this die cutting. So I'm going to show you the adhesive sheets and how to use them with an intricate die cut. So we're going to do that next. All right, so I'm going to get all my pieces together here. So you can see on this cross here, it's got this gold sheen. So that is a gold sheet die cut that is applied to a wild wheat die cut underneath. So I'll show you exactly what I did to make those. Here's a little pre-cut piece of the gold sheet. Here's a little pre-cut piece of the wild wheat cardstock. And now we'll get out the dies. So here are the dies that go with the Faith collection. So these ones cut out the various images, the outlines. Then you've got a cross straight up, and then you've got this one with a very intricate cross on top, which would be very difficult to apply glue to. So why we're going to use the adhesive sheets today is so we don't have to put glue very carefully on there and have all the glue ooze out all the little openings and stuff. So we're going to use adhesive sheets. And I've never demonstrated this on any of my videos before, so I hope you'll enjoy it. So here's the cross. We're going to need that one, and we're going to need this one. Okay, so let's go. And I'll just move that piece out of the way. And I'll grab my little mini machine here. So this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we're going to put that out. I like this little machine because it's so easy and simple. No electricity needed, and I like that. It's just the pressure from your hand and the rollers inside that make the cuts. So we're going to put plate number 1 on the bottom, plate number 2. Then we're going to make a sandwich. We've got 2 plates that are numbered 2, and they have all the instructions here with it if you've never done it. So we're going to make a little sandwich in between there. We're going to put our wild wheat cardstock and then our die. So this die, you can see one side you can feel and the other side is flat. So the cutting side is the one you can feel, not the flat side, which makes sense. So you put that face down so it'll cut into the paper. And then you put number 2 plate on top. And with just one go through the machine, it should cut it very nicely for us. Very straightforward. Oh, and I should tell you about this wild wheat cardstock. It's an in color from 2023 to 2025. And the in colors are new colors that Stampin' Up! Brings out every year, and they last for just 2 years. So these ones are basically done when the new catalog comes out in May. So if you like wild wheat, or if you like any of the other in colors for that year, let's see, there's 5 of them. Wild wheat, moody mauve, boho blue, copper clay, and pebbled path. If you like any of those colors, all of those items using those colors are on the last chance list, and many will be discounted. So get them while you can, because once they're sold out, they are gone. All right, so there's our cross. So let's go on to the next part. And what we're going to do for this, we're going to just move our machine aside, and we're going to get out our adhesive sheets. So adhesive sheets come in a package of 12. So you can see they're 6 inches by 12 inches. So you get a lot of them in a pack. And I'm just going to take one of them out here. You can see I've used part of this one already. So they kind of have 3 columns, so you can see. So what you do is you peel back this top layer here. And it's sticky inside, very, very sticky. And you just peel back as much as you need. You could peel back both columns if you needed something really big. But this is just a tiny piece, so we're just going to peel that back, and we're going to adhere face up our piece of gold foil sheets. And I just realized I left my scissors over on my other desk, so I'm just going to grab those. Okay, here's my scissors. So my paper snips. And then once you've got that, you just cut out around So we're just going to cut it there so that you have your piece of gold foil or whatever paper you're using. It could be cardstock, it could be designer series paper, whatever it is you want to use. You have it stuck right on there, so it's stuck to it. Okay, and now we're going to do our die cutting next. So that's going to be the next step. So here we go with our die cutting. So once again, we put our plate number 1 down, and then we make a sandwich between 2 plates number 2. So we're going to put our gold foil down there, and we're going to put our cross die cut on top. And we're going to run this through a bunch of times. I'm going to run it through probably about 10 times, simply because it's very, very sticky, this adhesive, and it's a little bit harder to cut through. So we want it to be just right. And you can always put it back in if it doesn't quite come out the way you need it to. But I'm just going to run it through this way, and I'm going to run it back through the other way. So that's 1, 2, sorry for the jiggling of the table here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we'll do one more. We'll see if that's enough to get all the little pieces out, and I will show you the tool that I use to do that as well. So we'll give it one more and make it come out the other side here. All right, so let's see how we did. I'm just going to put the machine here in case we need it again, and we will see how this went. So you can see it cut the outside of the cross, and you could use this for something as well. And here's all the little pieces. So we're going to need to poke those out, and that's what all these little holes are for. And I'm going to use this tool, which is called the Take Your Pick tool. I'll show you the putty end later, but this time we're going to use this sharp end. And it's not that sharp. I mean, this doesn't hurt my finger. It's just made for poking out these little bits. So it's going to make a whole bunch of little bits fall out probably onto my table. So you have to just poke through all of these. Now, I'd be interested to know, have you ever tried adhesive sheets? I have to admit, I never had until just fairly recently, but they're really great for these little teeny die cuts that have lots of detail, and it's just really, really helpful. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So you can see some of the pieces came out and others didn't yet. So we're just going to give them another pull here. So these can be a little bit difficult to get out, but I think the final result is definitely worth it. Okay, so we're just going to pull those out. Let's poke through again, see if we can get some of these other pieces out as well. Oops, I pushed that one back in by mistake. Okay, that one's out. Let's poke these guys out now. So you can see how many tiny pieces there are, and this would be a royal pain to try to glue on anything, I think, because it's so small. You could use the fine-tipped glue, but I think it would be rather a nuisance. And this way, the whole thing is covered in adhesive, so the whole thing sticks down and you're not missing any parts anywhere. Let's see, we have one more there that needs to come out. So let's see. Did we get all of them? I think we did. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So look at these tiny pieces. I'll just hold them up so you can see, because they're really, really small. Look how small those are. But it just cut them all right out for me. So let's see if we can get under that and take it off the die and look at the result. Isn't that beautiful? It's just so pretty and so intricate. It's just lovely. I think it's so nice. And now we get to do the fun part, because this is the easy part and the fun part. And we get to stick this onto the wild wheat cross. So we're going to stick the foil die cut onto the cross. And we just need to peel up the edge of the adhesive here, which the die cutting has actually made pretty easy to do. and they've got it made so it's really quite easy. And now it's sticky on the other side, and we're just going to put it on here. So I'm going to kind of line it up here so I can see it a little bit better. I find if I hold it on both sides, I can kind of get the lines better. So you just press it down, and look, without much effort at all, you get this beautiful cross. So you could be doing this with any paper, any color. You could use silver for the foil or something else, a glitter, whatever you'd like to do. And it just makes this beautiful shine. So I really think it's worth it. So that's how you use those adhesive sheets alongside your die cuts. And I think it's well worth knowing about. Okay, so now let's take the rest of the pieces. That's the hard work that we've already done. So let's put the rest of it together. So we're going to use Lost Lagoon here as our card base. So I'm going to just get out my bone folder here, which is a great tool to have. It's so good. I mean, there are other things you can use, like you can use the edge of a block or something, but this is rounded and just made for this purpose. So it doesn't hurt your paper, and they're not expensive. So I really recommend those because I think they're great to have. And then this is the paper that everybody voted on to have used in my project today. So every Monday or Tuesday, I put on a couple of different products and I say this or that. Which one would you like me to use in my project this coming week? And we had two kinds of paper, and this was one of them. And it's a really nice one. It's called Everyday something. What's it called? Let me just find here. Everyday Happiness. Yeah, here it is. Everyday Happiness is the name of it. And it's an online exclusive, so it's not in any catalog, and so I think people may have missed it. But here's some of the patterns. So look at that. And then this on the back, and this. So it's very pretty. It's got shades of Wild Wheat, and then it's got Pretty Peacock, which we used in our ink, and Lost Lagoon as well. So it's very, very pretty. And it's got this subtle yet at the same time vibrant feel to it. So it's really nice with a soft touch on it. And we could use either side of this. So you can see I used the floral one here, but you could also go with that one if you'd like. If you want to go with the lines instead, why don't we do that just for variety? Because it's all the same colors. All of Stampin' Up's items coordinate. So if you get a pack of paper, all the patterns should work together. And you can see I have a circle here. So this circle was, again, made with those Stylish Shapes dies. I used the biggest one for that. And then I embossed it. So I used this to emboss it. So you need to use the larger Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The little mini machine here won't work for this. But I used this Distress Tile 3D embossing folder to emboss my circle after I cut it out. And look at the beautiful pattern that it has. I really like this Distress Tile one. I think it's so pretty. So we can put that on our card. I'm just kind of arranging things so we know where we want them to go. Again, another piece made with Wild Wheat cardstock, and I used my Stylish Shapes dies for that. We'll be putting that here, and then we'll be putting this here. So we're just kind of figuring out where everything is going to go, and then we can put it on. I think I might like it better this way up. Let's see. I always figure you should put everything kind of where you think you're going to put it, and then see if it works out first. So I don't like to stick anything down until I know for sure that's where I want it. So I think that'll work. So let's take this and we will put on our circle some Stampin' Dimensionals first. So let's do that. Here we go. And let's put one in the middle just so it doesn't kind of gap down in the middle. So we'll put this on first. And see where we want that exactly. Okay. Oh, I didn't stick that one down either yet. Okay, let's do that first. Yeah, we need our paper down there first, and then we can stick everything on it. Okay, so let's do that. Here we are. Now, which way did I have that? Was it that way? I think it was this way. So we can stick that on just kind of in the middle of the card. That'll look lovely. Alrighty. And then we're going to put this one on next. You can kind of figure where in the pattern you want to put it. I don't think it matters all that much, really. The pattern works in any direction you want. So let's put that on there. And then we'll put this piece on. So again, I'm going to use one in the middle so it doesn't kind of gap downward. I love these little dimensionals. If you watched my videos before, I always wax eloquent about them because I find them one of the best products that you can get from Stampin' Up. They're really good. And now we're going to use the mini version of them, so I'll show you the difference in the size. Look how different the size is between those. And these little mini ones are just the thing for a smaller piece like this. So I'll lift this up so you can see how small they are. So look at how little they are. Yeah. They make it a lot easier. You can cut the big ones in half or quarter or whatever you want, but it's harder than doing it this way. So I like to have some of the little ones on hand as well. And I think we'll use the little ones on the cross as well. So we get really good coverage here. So let's see. We'll do that. And again, I'll hold that up so you can see them all in there, how tiny they are, but they stick really hard. So you don't have to worry about them kind of letting go or anything. I found them to be really good over the years that I've used them. So let's try to get that sort of in the middle. Okay, and then we need our embellishments. So let's see if I can find those. I put them aside and now they're disappearing on me here. Okay, so I've got some already open, and these again are called Blooming Pearls. So I'll show you the whole package, and there's more underneath here as well. So you've got the pink, you've got the Lost Lagoon, and another green here, and gold. So really, really nice ones. Actually, I think this is supposed to be Lost Lagoon, and maybe that one is Pretty Peacock. But they're very nice, versatile colors, and we can use those on here. So I think I'll go with these, and we'll put one kind of up here. And we're going to make a triangle just to draw the eye down. Oh yes, and I was going to show you the tool as well, so I will do that at the same time. So here's how you use, you take your pick tool, the other end. So we use the pointy end with the die cut, and we're going to open this end and use the putty end to pick up our embellishment. So it just picks it up so that you don't have to pick up these tiny little things. It's especially good when you're picking up little bitty ones like that are so hard to keep control of. So you can just use the putty end and then stick it right on. Okay, so I think we are done with our project here, friends. So I'm just going to show you. So here's the one that I made right now. And here's the one that used the other side of the designer series paper. So you can see whichever one you like best, and you can go with that. So I hope you enjoyed this project today. If you don't have a demonstrator already, I'd be delighted to help you out with your crafting needs. I can help anybody anywhere across Canada. I do have some online classes as well as in-person classes, so check back next week and I'll have the new roster of online classes and in-person as well. And if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to message me. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks so much for joining me today, and see you next time. Bye for now.